This is Talking My Walking. I am Rodrigo Ribeiro. If I give food to the poor, they call me saint. If I ask why they are poor, they call me a communist. Dom Helder Câmara. This quote is a very well known quote. You can easily find it in the internet. This shows how easy it is to attack a person if anytime somebody asks the wrong questions, which usually are the right questions, they can be attacked, vilified, ostracized, ridiculed, and so on and so forth. What does it tell us? Do I care if Dom Helder Câmara, which I do not know much about him, about his life, did everything correct during his life? Has anyone, there is another quote: those who have not sinned, they have to throw the first stone. Because we all are sinners. We all have flaws. So we all have a past, and we all can be attacked easily. That is easy to find or to make up, which is what sometimes happen as well, lots of times happen as well, to attack somebody that has the wrong ideas or poses the wrong questions. That's why when you do good but you don't ask questions, you help the poor, you are a philanthropist, if you are a wealthy person, you become a philanthropist, but you never ask. So you will be recognized as a good person in the sense that you help the poor, you might help animals, or might do a lot of things that usually are associated with good Samaritanism. Okay? But if you at the same time dare to ask why this reality exists, then, and you are a person that is recognized publicly, so that has a voice, kind of, even if it's not a big voice, but at least you have a voice, a public voice, you are known, then the powers that be will launch a campaign to vilify, to destroy your reputation. So this is how it works all the time. Not only by the powers that be, but also by people that do not agree with our ideas, or do not agree with our political views. Instead of attacking, of confronting and debating the ideas, and having sounder arguments to debunk or to show that what's wrong with those ideas in a rational way, they just attack the person. So the culture, no, these ideas are ideas is what matters, okay? Not people. Because if we do not understand that ideas are more important, then it doesn't matter where they come from. If someone that is not a good person at all, but for some reason has a good idea, so we should not say the idea is bad. The idea cannot be good because it came from a person that has a lot of negative, that has done a lot of negative things. I mean, so this is why we should care first for debating the ideas, not debating people. Okay, and that's what we have most of the time. Is that we debate people, and this is the politics of the cult of personality, not the politics of the debate of ideas. And this is what we are. This is the reality where we live. We do not really debate ideas. We try to destroy reputations or to enhance reputations of people, making the I mean, it is impossible to have a debate like that, because it's like the same. I repeat it again and again. It's like the same with a political project. If a political party or even an independent runner for some position, as a political project, as an electoral program, which should be what we should read and think, if we agree with the ideas, with what is supposed to be the basis of the political policy basis of the future government or president or prime minister or whatever it is. No, we debate we try to find, you debate the person. Some to destroy and some to enhance. And then we are distracted with what doesn't matter at all. I mean, doesn't it matter? Of course. But even a good person can change. You can have somebody that supposedly has a virtuous life, has not been, no corruption, no non-corruption, no known vices, no this, no that, and nevertheless, it is possible that that person will be can be a bad politician, can lie, can change. So that's for example, how does a company work, or is supposed to work? A corporation. There are ideas, business ideas. There are technicians, researchers. There are designers. There are people that work to create a product that's based on an idea. And the idea that matters is to make the idea work as best as possible. Is not about debating people. You don't work for a company to debate people. It's not about a confront of personalities. It's about to pick the best ideas and to transform them into products or services, in this case for the market, for profit. But this is a good principle, not the principle that the government should be for profit. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we are what matters for good governance is not the politicians itself, because then we have always this fight for who is the no, because there is not such thing. I mean, governments have there are layers of power. There are layers of influence and fight, political fight. So what matters is how can we have a system that really can be more effective and be it's more about independence, which means really independence of powers, okay, that legislative, executive and judicial power are really independent, and the political projects, for example, like the system we have, the representative democracies, the best ideas. So you have the best ideas, it should not matter, it should not matter if whether ideas, if it's conservative ideas or progressive ideas. Let's divide the ideas into progressive and conservative ideas. So there are ideas, there are conservative ideas that as they are important, as there are progressive ideas that are important. So it's not about that only progressive ideas are good or only conservative ideas are good. That doesn't exist. What matters is, okay, we have an election. I'm not talking about changing anything in our electoral system or our representative democracy system, but about that we go through, the citizenry that can vote, goes through the electoral programs. We should not vote. We should not vote. Voting or being our loyalty to a party is not a football club, okay, or any other form of a party, a political party or a political movement is about the ideas, the political projects, the economic projects for society. That's what matters. This is not about identity. It's not about that just because it looks progressive or it looks conservative is good. No. It is the political project for the society and economic, political economy, which is going to be to run who has the power, who controls the powers, who makes the laws, who writes the laws. That's what matters. So the political projects should be, we should know all of them. How can we vote based on a fight between personalities, characters, like in a soap opera or something? Nobody is perfect, as I said before, so you always can find rotten spots. I mean, we can always find something that is not. So it can always be exploited. That's always something to be exploited in our past, or to be or made up. So the political project or the electoral program should be what matters, and then we should be we should go through it, and we should vote on the program which, in our view, in our opinion, it's the one that would serve better our society, our country, economically, socially, geopolitically, in terms of foreign policy and everything else. Or either we could even vote, that could be also another way of voting in a representative democracy, that you could have a first and a second choice, for example, that you could, in the vote, could see, okay, the policies I prefer is from in first place, this party, and in second place, this party. And then, after the election, that should be what matters. And when the the citizenry makes these choices based on the electoral program, they should, whoever was going to form government, you can say that it would be the first and the second and the third political party, or then a coalition, and what they should oblige to follow was the programs that were really picked by the people, by the voters, by the electorate. That is so. This is not what happens, and this is exactly why we are discontent with the political system, because we are being lied to. They do not represent us. And why they do not represent us? Because it is not about a debate of ideas or political projects, but about a ruling elite, a deep state, a permanent bureaucracy that really dictates the policies. And and there is no changes in deep politics. There are superficial changes. I mean, it is because the system is not ruled, not run or managed by the ones that really are elected by us. There are other forces that do not allow. There is no independence. That's what I try to say. The powers, the legislative, executive, and judicial powers, they are not independent. They are not independent from each other, as they should, as they are not independent at all. Because we do not live in a democracy, we live in an oligarchy. And that is why we cannot have democracy. Because in order to save the oligarchy, we cannot have democracy. If we have democracy, the oligarchy is in danger. So, and that's exactly why our system is not working. And it's going from traditional oligarchy to tech oligarchy or techno oligarchy. Now we have tech oligarchs that want to take over the system and transform the system into a dystopian techno-fascism, into techno-fascism. That's what they want to transform our societies and the whole civilization. You can call it whatever, but to me it's techno-fascism. The economic model is techno-feudalism, okay? But in terms of political, is techno-fascism. Which, okay, just a question of that's exactly what it is. The debate of ideas based on real facts and real life that's what we really need, and it's not easy because we have such we live in such a manipulated environment. The narratives are so poisoned and tainted with lies and so much fabricated information. You know, that's really difficult, and that's why at least we should separate. We should try to separate ideas from people. You know, otherwise we are always debating. I mean, I don't say that it's not important also. It might have some relevance, but not to the point that we do not debate ideas at all. We just debate people. And that is a distraction. That is just infotainment. That is just for division, to create division. That is just to tribalize us. You know, to make us. Because, you know, if you sit at a table with other people and you just do not care that we focus on the ideas, that you try to have your arguments, and then you are you just are intellectually honest and you defend with facts why your ideas make sense. Why do I defend this political economy system, or this political system, or this geopolitical strategy, or this foreign policy, or this monetary policy, or whatever it is, and you debate it, not to win, because we should not be sophists. It's not about sophism. It's not about winning the discussion. It doesn't matter if it's based on lies or whatever it is. No. It's about having an honest debate. But you know why we do not have honest debates? Because debates based on interests, where we have a system that is rigged by the oligarchs, of course we cannot have an honest debate. Because there is going to be winners and losers. And the losers are always supposed to be the same ones. They are already called losers. Okay? That's us. That we are called losers. We are called losers because we are supposed to be losers. And that's why the debates cannot be honest. Because if the debates were really honest, the people that are responsible for the rigged system we have, and it is the oligarchical class, the plutocrats and oligarchs of this world, and the tech oligarchs, they would be the losers if we would have an honest debate, political debate, and if ideas would really matter, not manipulation, not the perception manipulation to manufacture consent. You know, because my ideas, okay, are not better or worse. The ideas I have for the world, for the economy, for society, for the well-being, for the protection of nature, for the protection of society, and for a different civilization, are not better or worse than Elon Musk's ideas. You know, I could debate with him about why I do not believe that we should even spend 1 cent, 1 single cent to go to Mars. Or why techno-fixism won't solve our problems. Doesn't techno-fixism help to solve to certain extent? Yes. But not in absolute terms. It cannot be a dogma, and we have to accept the techno-fixism capitalist system as a given that cannot be discussed or debated. Like the market fundamentalism, we cannot debate the free market ideology. You go and you can read what is the name of the book? I don't remember right now. Frederick Ayaka, or whatever was the name of the guy. I'm sorry, I cannot remember the title of the book right now. And you see, it's full of holes. It's full of fallacies. But for some people, it's the Bible. Why don't we debate the ideas one by one and compare it with another ways of? Because this is a fight between power and the powerless, between the ones that want to control power and the ones that are totally disempowered. That's why we don't have a debate of ideas. That's why we have a rigged political system that we cannot win. We can vote our way out of this crossroads that we are now, especially in the Western world, by just throwing ourselves again into fascism. That's our political choice. Okay? Not debate of ideas, not debate of what democracy, what kind of democracy, how can we move forward to participatory democracy and participatory economics. How can we move to a civilization that based on a social and ecological political economy? No, that's not what we should debate. We cannot debate the concept of economic sufficiency. No, we can only debate economic growth. We cannot debate the financial system we have. One of a system that is perverse beyond comprehension, that a system that is responsible for the situation where we are now. Nevertheless, can we discuss it? No. It's a given. So we cannot discuss ideas. We cannot have the right questions because they are wrong. Because already the questions there are questions that are ostracized, that are blocked, you know. So this is not even about freedom of expression or freedom of speech. It's about freedom of political debate. Because immediately you are called names. You know, you go from saint to communist, which is supposed to be identified as evil, of course. So this is I mean, I don't even know what to say because this is so obvious to me that sometimes it's difficult to put it in words, because you know that's exactly something that I find out amazing. Things are obvious, but nevertheless they are unseen, they are undebated, they are off the script. We cannot. They do not exist. So we debate what we debate most of the time is irrelevant for the true questions, to solve the true problems, to solve the roots of the problems. But that's where we spend our time. That's where we invest our energies, cognitive energies and creative energies. Because again, the problem is not the answers. The problem is all the questions. The problem is always how we frame the narratives. And who frames the narratives? Cui bono? So we have intellectual hubris, okay? That's the professional managerial class is full of intellectual hubris. But it's not only about intellectual hubris, of course. It is about it's about power. It's about political power. It's about capitalizing. It's about capital as power. It's about control. So, and there is only one question, or either we or either the government and the state. It's not the same thing. Please, the government is not the same thing as the state. But the government and the state, either they govern, even the government governs in our name, and the state functions for the collective well-being, you know, or the government governs in the name of the oligarchy, or controlled by controlled or influenced by the oligarchy, or in our name. So what in order for us to acquire political agency, we are not supposed to debate people. I mean, because each one of us has a little different perspective, you know, and then, of course, then we can always have personality fights, you know, that it's about again, it's about Sufism. It's the triumph of sophistic ideology. That we do not want to have a debate for that allows us to have a clear and constructive idea or set of ideas or ideological system and political system to what we should do for the sake of humanity, but we just are fighting each other out of intellectual hubris, a form of narcissistic. That's not, I mean, this is so much, this is really part of our reality. That's why we do not discuss ideas in, that's why we don't even want to sit down and, because we are already in confronting the person, not debating the ideas. This is exactly the triumph of the oligarchy. It's the triumph of individualism in the worst form of individualism, because, I mean, the respect and the dignity of the individuals and the freedom we all deserve to have and enjoy has nothing to do with individualism in the sense that we are full of hubris, full of shit. I mean, we don't have intellectual humility. We are not educated. We do not train ourselves to be humble. Because our ideas, even the ones that we believe are what's the word for it? Are genuine, though nobody else said it's our ideas. No, they are not ours. Without we are always a product of our time, which means that we doubt the knowledge of others, the experience of others, and the environment. I mean, we could not be who we are. Well, our ideas they just don't pop up like that. Doesn't it matter? Our creativity, does everything matters. Everything matters. But again, there is no room whatsoever for arrogance, intellectual arrogance. That's not. Ideas are good when we expose them, when we confront them with other ideas, and when we put them in a system, when we organize them in a system, and then we have to experiment them, and then of course we have to correct, because one thing is a theoretical system and another thing is a reality. So there is no such thing as a perfect theoretical system. What matters is the ideas, and what matters is what reality do we want. So the objectives, the oligarchs, the people that run the world, the people that really have power, they know they have objectives and they work to achieve their objectives. They have they not only theoretically, but they want to use their theoretical ideological systems in order to achieve certain objectives. And what do we have? I mean, by we I mean humanity in a broader. We have nothing. We are divided. We do not know what we want as a civilization. What kind of civilization could work for us all? Why shouldn't we be ruled top down? How can we have a complex society, a technological society? Of course, that's not. We are not going back to any form of primitivism, unless there will be a huge catastrophe, a global catastrophe. So, but how can we have it that instead of what we are creating, which is making people the concentration of wealth, means in private hands, means more power to the oligarchy, which means less power for us, which means that we will be reduced. I mean, this is not new. I said it before. We will be the. We don't. I mean, they do not. They don't care about us. We are the disposable garbage. We are the growing useless class. Do you think this is a problem of immigration? No. Immigrants, we cannot be immigrants even in our country. Those who went through the Great Depression, as Steinbeck described in his book, The Vines of Wrath, you can see that you can, what it can become. How can you become a desperate person or family in your own country, treated like shit, without necessity? This is part of a system that doesn't care how much unnecessary suffering it can cause to achieve their objectives, to not lose 1 inch in power and wealth. They have been perfected the system, especially through the financialization of the economy. This is what neoliberalism is about. Neoliberalism is not about free markets. Neoliberalism, it's about extracting rents. It's financial capital. It's a form of feudalism that is evolving, is mutating into techno-feudalism. It's a form of capitalism, but it's a society, is a system based more in rents, not in production, not instead of producing. No, it's about extracting rents and through speculation. While the ordinary citizenry, the most of us, will strive to make ends meet. And then, okay, then the solution. The solution, of course, is that we are convinced, manipulated to believe that fascism is the way out for our problems. So we will have techno-fascism. We will be, we will see, I mean, that's not about freedom. They don't want freedom for us. They want freedom for them. They want more money for them. They want, I mean, you know, they do not, I mean, it's incredible. So, think that it's more important. What is more important is the debate of ideas, it's not the debate of people. What is really important, crucial, it is the ability to ask the right questions, which for them are always wrong. The more they demonize people, the more you might think, okay, these people might be, not everybody is right in the same way, but we should always I mean, not all dissent. What I'm trying to say is that not all dissent is it would be a fallacy. Not all dissent is correct, and not all dissent is looking for the truth. There are many people that we could call them dissenters, and nevertheless they are manipulators. Okay, do not forget that. They are dissenters to the mainstream ideas, but they are still manipulators. You go for the dissenters that try to tell the truth, and the truth is not. The truth is to be open. You know, the truth is not about defending. It's about defending something that should be open for discussion. Okay, it's always about ideas open for debate. Not about giving given truths, you know, just okay, you just have this and this is it. No, it's open for debate. That we need to understand why. Why should we have that? Okay? So, this is how I'm going to end my conversation today. So, thanks for listening. I'll be back soon.